Hello everyone, Chocolo here, but not for a video review. This time it's for Look Back episode 18. Yeah, basically it's where I look back at reviews I did 1 year ago and 5 years ago, because we've been doing the channel for 5 years, well over 5 years now, believe it or not. So yeah, I'm able to do that. So that's what this video is about really. So I basically look back at what I did, let's say, those periods of time and just discuss whether I generally agree with them or not, or whether I think the actual mark I gave them should be changed really. So link for all these reviews is in the description. I probably would have put that in, I think it's this corner, yes. I probably would have put a little message in the top corner just to say that. So if you fancy watching any of these reviews, you can do, yeah, just by looking in the description basically. I did some member reviews as well, yeah, a year ago. What did I do? I did Drumstick Squashies Lollies, review those, and I did Pringles Honey Glazed Ham review as well, yeah. So if you remember and you missed out on those, go check those out. Links to those in the description. And if you're not a member, well, you can be one by clicking on the link up there. If you pick the bronze level or above, you'll get access to exclusive videos such as these ones I mentioned there. Yeah, so I guess we'll go on to what I did a year ago. But I did 3 live reviews, or sort of like, well, 2 of them were reviews. One of them was sort of a big jumble of Jaffa cakes. It was the Ultimate Jaffa Cake Challenge I did a year ago, yeah. So link for that's in the description. I won't talk about the marks I gave individually there. I'll just let you go and watch those because it was more or less of a comparison between them all and this, that and the other. So it wasn't really something to be taken out of context. And much for the same reasons, because of the chocolate selections. I did the Lindt Swiss Luxury selection as well, and the Happy Belly Belgian chocolate selection, which is from Amazon. So links for those in the description as well. So I won't go into those because there's chocolate selections. So you need to sort of discuss them and speak about the different chocolates and how they work together as a whole and things, which is why I did in those reviews. So if you want to find out more about those, go check out those links in the description for them. But yeah, so actually what I did review a year ago in a proper regular reviews, let's have a look, see if I can find them on the list. Yeah, I did Thorntons Squares Salted Caramel. I gave these a 4 out of 5, which seems quite a high rating really. So they're substantial but poorly made and not very cohesive, because basically these sort of squares of chocolate, but underneath they've got like a biscuit base, and it's hidden actually. You wouldn't even know it was there if you looked at the front of the packaging. If you looked at the back, you might see it in the description or whatnot, but you wouldn't think it because it just shows you the top. So they're actually quite substantial and surprisingly so, and it's quite nice really, but they just look very low quality, very poorly made. You know, they don't, it's sort of like the square bits of the chocolate doesn't really seem to be stuck down very well to the biscuit, and it's kind of curling up a bit, you know, off the biscuit and things. And but nonetheless, they were quite nice, really. And as I say, that having that biscuit underneath was a bit more, a bit of a surprise. I wasn't really expecting it. But as I say, just a bit, you know, I think misleading is perhaps, well, it is misleading because you didn't know the biscuit was at the bottom. You know, but I guess it's obviously more than what you'd expect. But yeah, overall, 4 out of 5. I think basically I'm going to give myself the benefit of the doubt on that one. I didn't think I rated that high, but I think it was just the fact that the salted caramel part tasted quite nice, and the biscuit part as an addition was quite nice as well for an extra texture. It just didn't quite, it was just a bit of a weird product. It didn't really have much of a cohesion. Wasn't very cohesive with itself really, in a way. It just seemed poorly made, and I think it was really just looked a very sort of cheap product, which is surprising because it's got the Thorntons name on it. But yeah, weird one, that one. But yeah, I think 4 out of 5. As I say, you know, I think it just tasted nice, but it didn't look very good, and you know, there wasn't really an air of quality about it. But so I think 4 out of 5, you know, perhaps quite on the high side. But as I say, I think it just was better than it looked really, but just a bit odd in some strange ways. Yeah. Now the Vicks Hobnobs, the fully coated ones, yes, so the fully coated one. I said these were really nice actually. I gave these a 4 out of 5. So they were gorgeous actually. I really liked them, but I've rated them down because they were just so. There was like 6 in the pack, and you could get like a pack of regular Hobnobs, chocolate Hobnobs, for sort of, which had about 15 in them, you know, for probably the same price, if not cheaper. So just so that was the disappointing part with them really, but I did really like them. They were really nice. I love Hobnobs. They're my favourite biscuit. You know, and these obviously were as well. I just thought, you know, it just seems real. Yeah, just real sort of, yeah, ridiculously. I don't know. Just a bit of a rip-off, basically, just to have so few biscuits in it, but they were nice. So yeah, so 4 out of 5, I think that's probably about right, but could be tempted, you know, I don't know. It's one of those, really. I think taste-wise, it was probably more of almost a 5 or another 5, but it's just the fact that you got so few in the box, in the packet, but they were really nice. I did really like them, so I don't know. So it was just, yeah, you know, just not great value for money, really, and I thought it was just too ridiculous that to only get 6 of them, but I don't know. Nonetheless, they were quite big biscuits because of the massive coating and things, so it's a difficult one. I think I am going to put them up to 4.5 out of 5, I think, because they were really nice, and I think docking a whole mark was perhaps a bit too much. But yeah, they were really nice, and I think otherwise it probably would be a 5 out of 5, I think. But yeah, just the quantity just wasn't really enough. Then we had the Milk and Max Champiolade or Campiolade. I'm not sure how you pronounce that one. Yeah, so this one I gave a 2.5 out of 5. It's a massive bar, one of these 300-gram sort of bars. I say 300 kilograms. I do a QP. 300-gram bar basically. Massive one, full of sort of rice, sort of crispy rice pieces. But I said it just wasn't good enough because the Milka chocolate just wasn't good enough to have so much Rice Krispie pieces in there. Just you couldn't taste it. All you could taste was sort of dry Rice Krispie pieces pretty much, and the Milka chocolate just didn't work with it. So I think that's probably about right, really, 2.5. And I said as well, it had some weird football theme stuck on it, like a football on it for some reason. Was just totally out of place and made no sense whatsoever. It didn't seem to be it didn't seem to be in sort of like what's the word, in conjunction with any event of any kind. It just had a football on it, so I don't know what's going on there. I think it might just be just because of the name Champiolade or whatever, Champiolade or Campiolade or whatever. But yeah, very odd one, that one. 2.5 out of 5. I think it's probably about right for that. Just milk and chocolate just didn't work with that much filling. That much Rice Krispie filling, just couldn't taste the milk or chocolate basically. And since it's a big Milka bar, you'd expect to be able to do that. So yeah. Then we had the M&M's Fudge Brownie, so this one a bit of an odd one. So gave 3.5 out of 5. Basically said, strangely enough, I thought it had the texture of the brownies pretty well done, really, which is usually the hard part. But I said that you couldn't really taste them because of the chocolate. You just had, because of the chocolate surrounding it, basically. So I think this was a US import, this one. I don't think it was a UK one. It just very sort of, just a bit of a shame. So they had the texture pretty well done, actually, which is, as I say, usually the hard part, but just not the taste. So 3.5 out of 5. So yeah, so I think that's probably about right because the texture is quite difficult to get for brownies in a regular sweet product. Interesting that one, but yeah, not just unfortunately did the hard bit but didn't do the easy part. So I think 3.5 is probably about right, really. Now the Thorntons orange squares, which is another one very similar to the for the salted caramel squares, basically. So same sort of things. Were there, sort of applied to this one, applied to the other one, but just the taste wasn't quite as good. It's like a sort of chocolate dome in it as well. This might have been the case with the other one as well, but I said there's like a dome of chocolate on the inside and it reduced the amount of orange cream in there. It was like an orange cream, like a club. And I basically just said, you may as well just have a McVitie's club. They're just nicer. And that's why it's only 3 out of 5. So yeah, might be a bit too high, that one, really. Still I think it was all right. It just wasn't as good. Let's just get a club. Just get some clubs. Just, let's say Thornton's name on it, but it was basically an inferior product to the club. So, yeah. I think 3 out of 5 is probably about right, really. But I could be tempted to knock it down, if anything. But I think it was a relatively average product. But it didn't look great as well. I had that air of quality again. Was poorly made. All the other things that applied to the Thornton Square salted caramel one as well. So, yeah, disappointing. Yeah, and then we had the Terry's White Chocolate Orange Mini Eggs. And I gave these a 5 out of 5. And I'm quite surprised, actually, I gave them that higher rating because they had a taste that didn't sit quite right with me, and it was pretty much down to the shell. I'm pretty certain of it because it had a really fake-looking colour as well. It was the colour of a carrot, basically. It's really sort of ridiculous orange colour. And it was basically down to the fact that it was coloured from cochineal or carmine. Basically the sort of ground beetles, basically. So they weren't suitable for vegetarians, these at all. And it had a funny taste. I still gave it a 5 out of 5, and I just don't agree with that, actually. I think I was too taken by the white chocolate orange taste, and as nice as it is, that sort of shell really detracted from it in my view, and just made it a bit, I don't know, wasn't too nice a taste. I think it's more of a 4 out of 5, this one, really. I think as nice as they are, I feel like the shell, as I say, just took away from them, really. Took away from the taste. Wasn't very nice. Didn't look very nice. It wasn't a very pleasant taste. And I also just don't feel like the eggs were the best way to eat the white chocolate orange either as well. The Terry's White Chocolate Orange is lovely on its own, really nice, just straight chocolate, it just tasted just like orange almost, really. It was so refreshing and beautiful and lovely, but in this mini egg version just wasn't right at all with the shell. I like the crunch and everything, but just not the fact, not the colour and not the taste it had of that sort of weird, I can only assume it's from the sort of carmine sort of recoloration, really. So not for me at all, that. And I feel like also, I don't know, as I say, just didn't quite work as well also just as the regular Terry's White Chocolate Orange. It just wasn't as nice either. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know if it's a shape or something. I'm not sure. And also I've had the sort of white chocolate orange since then, really, and I'm not sure. I feel like it wasn't quite as great as I first remembered it being. I don't know whether it's just the shapes of the different sort of ways of having it, whether you have it in the bar version or the mini sort of mini segment version or the actual big chocolate orange itself. but I've had them in, in the sort of mini versions since then, and I wasn't quite as enamoured by them as I first was. Still lovely and everything, still really nice and just really unique and refreshing, and a beautiful way to have orange flavoured chocolate basically in this form. I think it's probably the best, to be honest with you, but it just wasn't one of the best, at least anyway, as in, well, the best chocolate to have orange flavouring in, white chocolate for sure, really nice. But it just wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't bowl me over as much as it did the first time I had it. So I think I'd probably dox it half a mark for that reason, then half a mark again, I think, for the weird carrot coloured shell and the odd taste that sort of brought with it from the cochineal or carmine or whatever you want to call it, really. I think they both amount to the same thing, really. So yeah, so 4 out of 5 this one. So it's gone down quite dramatically so, but it's still very nice. But the mini egg form is not the way to eat this, unfortunately. Yeah, the white chocolate one or the regular milk chocolate one both have that strange overly orange odd colour shell basically that has not a great taste to it. Yeah, so yeah, 4 out of 5 that one. I think that's more accurate. It's still a good result, still a good score, but definitely, not a 5 out of 5 this one. Really isn't. Yeah, then we had the Cloetta 2 I think it's a Swedish or Finnish chocolate bar, this one. Yeah, sent by a fan of the channel, so thank you so much. And yeah, really appreciate it. It was a lovely bar as well. I think it was her daughter's favourite bar, actually. Gave this 4.5 out of 5 and said it was just really lovely refined taste, lovely chew and lovely crunch. It was all just really perfectly balanced, really well made, and just the right amount of everything. And it had the chopped almonds in it as well, but the provided such a nice crunch as well. I'm not normally a big fan of chopped almonds and chopped nuts unless they have a specific kind of taste, and these ones I say just really tasted just like really nice and crunchy. It just didn't taste much like a nut at all, just a real nice crunchy part of the bar. Really nice, actually, really liked it. So the only reason it wasn't a 5 out of 5 was just because it lacked a bit of an oomph, didn't have an X factor to it, but it was a really nice bar. Really liked it. Yeah, really nice bar, that one. 4 out of 5, I think that's probably about right, really. And if anything, it would have been a 5. There was no way it was less than that. So yeah, very nice. Then we had the Cabbies cream eggs cakes. Yeah, these are 2 out of 5. So they look great, look just like they did on the front, but the fondant was almost tasteless. And obviously nothing like the sort of, it just didn't have the cream egg filling in it. It had like sort of, it's basically like a sort of Swiss roll, but turned, a slice of Swiss roll basically. It's like the spiral bits of a sort of cream egg filling, but they were meant to be. They had no taste really at all, and they especially weren't sort of cream egg filling. So they hadn't used cream egg in the actual cake, and it's because it's not really made by Cadbury's. I think is it Burton's? I think, I'm not sure who makes Cadbury's cakes, but used something else basically. It just looked like the centre from a cream egg. And I'd say it looked great. This product really did look great, but it just had no taste at all, and even the cake had no taste as well. And so the sponge was just really tasteless. The whole product was just really poor. Yeah, so as I say, because of all this, didn't really sort of have anything at all in common with an actual cream egg. So I think for me, this one, I gave it to 2 out of 5. I'm going to lower this to 1.5 out of 5. I think it's just a really poor product. Looked great, but just really poorly executed. Yeah, and I think that's I think 2. I think it was, well, it wasn't just below average. It was a poor product. So 1.5 out of 5 for that one. Yeah, no, we had the Reese's Rounds, and I gave these were very similar in a way, really, to what we just mentioned before. Just totally poor products, again, made by another company. I think this is made by, I think these are Lightbody Ventures or Finns Group, one or the other, I think, make these ones. It's just basically meant to be a biscuit based on Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, but it didn't have Reese's Peanut Butter in it, so it's just really poor. It didn't taste like Reese's Peanut Butter at all. And also, I had, because of the backlog in my stash, I had 3 lots of these, but I bought them at separate times, and it actually shrunk over time as well, the amount you get in them. So just really poor. They were just nothing like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. They didn't taste very nice, and the peanut butter was, as I say, tasteless. And I gave these 1.5 out of 5, and I think I was pretty much spot on for the reasons, again, with the Cadbury cream egg cakes. Just totally not very nice. Totally just nothing like the actual product's meant to be. It didn't taste very great. Really bland and boring. Yeah, 1.5 out of 5, I think that was about right, really. Poor product, that. Really poor it was as well. Yeah, really poor. Right, so what did I do 5 years ago? Let me just find out on my list there, so let's just move up a bit. Didn't do many 5 years ago, basically. First I did was Tunnocks tea cakes. Yeah, I gave these a 5 out of 5, believe it or not. Now, I have just reviewed M&S caramel tea cakes, and they are noticeably smaller than Tunnocks ones. Those Tunnocks have shrunk, as since they did them 5 years ago. But they were sort of really big, massive dome of marshmallow. Give this a 5 out of 5. Well, I don't know if I'd give them a 5. Seems quite high rating, that, really. I don't know. I'll have to review these ones again, I think. I need to review these again. I gave them a 5 out of 5. Seems quite a high rating, that. But I've not had them for some time. So I'm going to give myself the benefit of the doubt, and I'm probably going to re-review these, I think, at some point soon. But, they were very nice, and they are a classic. So, I can't really say for sure that I can mark these down. Seems a very high mark, but as I said, I've not had them for quite some time. I need to have them again, and I have always thought they were classic. So it could well be right, these ones. So, but just something I need to revisit, I think. So I'm going to keep them the same. It's a high score, that, and I think it needs to be reinvestigated. So yeah, but yeah, 5 out of 5, eh? But they are very nice. So you know, I'm going to give myself the benefit of the doubt on that one. Yeah, I will have to do those again, I think. Now what a review. Yeah, I did the Magnum Dark Chocolate Espresso Thins. Yeah, an interesting one, these ones. Basically, about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, as apparent from them when I did this review, Magnum were doing a few different sort of chocolate products. You know, there was a few of them actually, and some of them I didn't get around to reviewing, unfortunately. They weren't sort of thins as in after eights, but they were like sort of actual biscuits, almost chocolate biscuits. And instead they had like sort of little cocoa nibs in them, basically. But the problem was they didn't really taste like cocoa nibs, really. It didn't taste like coffee. There was no real coffee taste in it. And I gave these a 2.5 out of 5 as a result. I don't even think these are still around anymore, I don't think. So they're quite nice. We just didn't get much coffee flavour from them. Quite a nice concept. They're, you know, quite substantial. They look nicely presented. They came in this like little box with them all on vertically aligned and things. You know, all look reasonably nice. You know, look quite a high-end product. But just didn't taste that great, really. It just was sort of very... all you could taste was like dark chocolate, really. It wasn't bad, but it's just you meant to taste a bit, you know, espresso, like coffee type taste, and just didn't get that. So it's a bit disappointing. I think I'm going to stick with 2.5 out of 5. I think, you know, because I think you still got reasonably nice dark chocolate taste, but you just didn't get the coffee side, so it's very disappointing, really. But if anything, I feel like I'm obliged to lower it slightly, but I think I'll give myself the benefit of that one again. Yeah. So 2.5 out of 5, I think it's probably about right for that. But I don't think you can get it anymore. Interesting. I see Magnum seems to have stopped all this sort of, you know, little journey into sort of chocolate products other than the ice cream stuff, that I think anyway. So yeah, right. So we had the Ferrero Collection as well. Yeah, an interesting one, this one. Yeah, just well, yeah, basically it was like it's sort of like I don't know how many there were in it. I think it was like 4 Raffaellos, the sort of like the white sort of looking Ferrero Rocher type chocolate, and then there's these dark chocolate equivalents. I can't recall the name of them now. I'll have to maybe I'll put a caption somewhere on the screen. I can't quite recall what they were. And then there's the regular Ferrero Rochers as well. But it was a bit unfortunate because I think there was 4 of the Raffaellos, 4 of the dark chocolate ones, and then I think 12 of the Ferrero Rocher, or you know, basically 3 times as much from what I remember seeing in the on the review I did. I said they were enough. I said the dark chocolate ones were 5 out of 5 based, so they were just lovely, you know. And I think might have come across them again when I did the Ferrero Collection not too long ago. They might have been the same ones. I'm not sure. So yeah, 5 out of 5 I gave those, and I gave the Raffaellos 3 out of 5, saying they're actually a lot better than I thought they were, because I wasn't a very big coconut fan. I'm still not really, but I really enjoyed those. Yeah, and 3 out of 5 was a good mark for me. And regular Ferrero Rochers gave 3.5 out of 5. I think those are probably about right. I'm not going to change those, I think, because again, it's a bit like a selection of things. I didn't rate the selection as a whole. Yeah, but I think that sounded probably about right. It resonated with me, the sort of marks I gave there. I say that those dark chocolate ones did sound very nice. And I seem to remember I was saying the Ferrero Collection I reviewed in the live a few weeks back. I do seem to remember those being very nice, so I can believe it, really. So I'm going to keep those the same, I think. But I didn't rate the collection as a whole. But by the sounds of it, it's probably a 4, you know, yeah, a 4 out of 5 just by averaging them out, probably. So yeah, but I think, as I say, that's just an unofficial rating there. But yeah, that's all I did 5 years ago. Yes, I didn't do many that time ago. But yeah, well, there you go. So links to those are in the description, as I say, and all the other things as well. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. Yeah, really nice to look back at what I reviewed and see if things have changed and what was around and what wasn't. We've just seen Magnum's chocolates there as well. You know, which is an interesting one. I forgot completely about those, really. It's a shame I didn't review more of them, but seem to have disappeared completely now. I don't think they do any Magnum chocolate anymore. You might come across some, perhaps in places like Home Bargains or something like that, if they're still around somewhere. Just you know, it's that kind of chocolate, I think, will just appear randomly in those places, really. So yeah, did I see some actually? I wonder if I did. You know, just seems to recall seeing something. I feel like it was a brand, but I don't think it was Magnum. Was it something else? I feel like it was something else. It might have been Magnum, but I feel like maybe it's something. I'm not sure. Yeah, so they might be still around actually. They might still be dabbling in it, but just in some really obscure, you know, shops basically, which is weird. I don't know why that is, but there we go. And Sonic's tea cakes, well, gave them 5 out of 5. Really need to review them again. I think they are very nice, but it's been a long time, so be interested to see what I think of those. Yeah, the Ferrero Collection as well, quite surprising there, really. Interesting one. Yeah. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, well, as I say, check out those reviews. Links to those in the description. If you want to become a member as well to see those exclusive reviews, and you're not already, or if you just missed about, the links to those are in the description as well. But the link to become a member is also in the description, and has probably been up here in the corner at some point. So click on the eye symbol and you'll be able to see that. It's a great way to support the channel as well. If you pick bronze level above, you do get exclusive reviews. I'll say read it carefully, this, that, and the other. But as I say, great way to support the channel. The support level, you know, as I say, would be great. Even if you don't want to get the exclusive reviews, support level would be massively help out as well. But yeah, Discord server is available as well. Great way to keep in touch with myself and the community. Link for that's also in the description. Yeah, if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, have a great day as well. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye for now. See ya. Bye.